Hello, this is Blue Joe Saunders, WBO Middleweight Champion of the World. Subscribe to Sport and Icons to stay in touch with all the top news. God bless you all.
Right, so thank you Redbeard for pointing this out to me. Chris Eubank Jr. has vacated his IBO Super Middleweight Title. Now, that's no great surprise. Chris Eubank Jr. said he wasn't going to be fighting at Super Middleweight anymore, and it does look like he's got his world title shot against Jermall Charlo for the WBC at middleweight. Chris Eubank Jr. says that he's a natural middleweight, doesn't really see himself at Super Middleweight and that anymore. So him vacating that is no great surprise to me whatsoever. Now, ultimately, in today's game, IBO is just a trinket now. It's not considered a world title by many people. Historically, it has a lot of relevance in world boxing, up and down the weight division. It certainly does. But in today's game, no fighter really needs it. It's one of those belts that it's nice to have if you've got a world title. For example, if you're going to be fighting for the WBA, the IBF, WBO or WBC, and the IBO happens to be on the line as well, it's nice to have pictures with, isn't it? But to walk around with the IBO as a solo belt, no. Okay, it ain't worth nothing anymore. It really, really isn't. But it's the same with many fighters who fight for WBO international belts or WBO European belts. They're okay if you're a novice coming through, but anything past that, it's just not worth having, okay? These are just extra sanction fees and little things like that are not needed. If you're a fighter who's just starting out within your first half a dozen to a dozen fights, fair enough. You can go for the IBO internationals or WBO Europeans, these kind of ones, but they're not legitimate titles. They're just not. I'm sorry, but they're not. So Chris Eubank Jr., even the full title, I don't really know why he was walking around with it like a newborn baby, the way that he was carrying it. And I like Chris Eubank Jr., and I do believe that he will beat Jermall Charlo. But the thing is, even when he fought George Groves and lost to George Groves even threw that belt in the bin, the IBO, saying, I don't want that piece of crap, keep it. Because it holds absolutely no relevance. So again, Chris Eubank Jr. vacating it, it ain't no great surprise. And we all know why he was walking around claiming to be world champion. It's because his father once held it and things like that. So it's all about past relevance. But in today's boxing, just not needed. So Chris Eubank Jr. holding on to that belt, there was little to no point, okay? He was never going to have any kind of food at the table with it. Much like the IBO internationals, WBO Europeans, WBC Europeans and things like that, then it's not worth it. If you're a fighter who has any kind of credibility about you after you've had a certain amount of fights, you shouldn't even be looking at these kind of belts. You really shouldn't. For me, if you're a British fighter, you get your area titles, then these kind of IBO international, WBO Europeans as a novice, then as you come through, then you look at the British, then you look at the Commonwealth, you look at the European, then ultimately the world. Okay, you don't bother with these kind of belts. You just don't. They're just little trinkets to have. That's all they are. So either way, for me, no great surprise that Chris Eubank Jr. vacated it, especially as he's going to be fighting at middleweight, and it doesn't look like he's going to get in a fight with Jermall Charlo for the WBC Middleweight World Title. So anyway, that's what's going on. Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.